Good evening, everyone. Hope you can hear me. Good to see you, Ross, Campbell, Mr. Edwards. Oh, there's two managers already, ready to battle it out. Even Duggan, are you in charge of anyone this evening, or you're just joining us? Good to see you, and good to have you here as always. Obviously, um, yeah. Apologies for the slightly early delay, early start today. Half marathon training, believe it or not. But more about that later, or perhaps not. We'll see how it goes. Evening, Steve. Excellent to see you guys here. Thank you very much for joining a little bit earlier. I genuinely appreciate it. Without too much ado, and thank you for the submissions, everything looking all good. Everyone in, all on time. Without too much faffing about and chit chat, let's have a look at the fixtures as they are on the screen there. Badgers hosting Haggis tonight. Big clash there in the top. Interesting for the people just below them, obviously. An opportunity to make up ground on one of the sides. Dudley against East Coast. Dudley looking forward, still looking forward to a home game. And yeah, he got it against East Coast, who are back to winning ways after beating Northern Burn last time out. Exiles are hosting Foss Road. And sure, excellent. Yeah, no problem. Always welcome. So Exiles against Foss Road. And Fulchester's hosting Sloths. Northern Burn, as mentioned, is taking on Sanctay. Both managers in early attendance. Staggington at home to Los Santos, and Vikings hosting Stanley in a bit of a bottom of the table clash, much like the Fulchester Sloths game, a little bit higher up on the ladder here. Let's have a quick reminder of the results last time out. It was East Coast, as mentioned, beating Northern Burn 4-2 at home. Big win for Foss Road against Stackington, 4-0. Stackington obviously throwing things at it towards the end that didn't work out for them. Exiles, Fulchester again. I mean, I don't know where they're going to get wins from, but maybe they will get them eventually. Exiles back to winning ways. They've obviously dropped off a little bit in terms of form compared to the start of the season. Haggis had a good result against Stanley. Stanley, who were, of course, the informed side. Los Santos against Dudley Hill. That was a 3-1 win for Los Santos. A difficult one for Dudley. Again, that was I think, fourth away game in a row. I think it was. Sanctay beating Vikings. Good result for them, and Sloth losing at home to Badgers. It's been a tough season for the Sloth, struggling with wide, with narrow, and with the chairman forgetting to put the right formation on, which of course was not the best. But I think we managed to save that one, or the right lineup, or whatever it was. We managed to salvage it anyways. So, a quick look at the league table, just in case anyone is interested. I'm sure you are. East Coast already on 39 points. So, with a bunch of games still to go, it looks as if they are pretty much home and dry. I think with 8 to go, they should be home and dry, all but mathematically secured. The same probably for Foss Road. Haggis and Badgers could theoretically still throw it away, but it's looking okay for them. But then look at this here. Dudley Hill are only 5 points behind the Badgers in fourth. Sanctay up on 22 now, and they're in form. It's looking decent for them as well. So all is still to play for, as they say down at the bottom. It's obviously a big battle going on. If not for a queue, then at least for the honor of not finishing bottom. And most sides have secured wins, scored goals. No one's really cut adrift. So yeah, could be interesting. I mean, Vikings could theoretically, I guess, jump to 10th if they weren't for the fact that people were playing each other, but only 3 points behind. So not too desperate down at the bottom yet at all. But as Ross and Ian were here very early this evening, I think we will reward them with the first game of the evening. So we shall go for Northern Burn. You're all desperate to get back to the Eurovision semi-final, I know. Northern Burn at home to Sanctay. A couple of changes for Northern Burn, mostly in midfield. Ian will correct me if I've messed anything up here, but I think it's okay. And yeah, trying a little bit different in terms of personnel, sticking with the tactic. Didn't I mean, his East Coast is always tricky, but the formation he's sticking with, but a couple of personnel. Costa coming in, and I think Aymar is new in central midfield as well. So Montero is at the back, of course. And yeah, good, looking good this Northern Burn side. Unlucky for them with that 4-2 defeat last time out. That was not what the manager was expecting, I'm sure. Um, they are up against Sancte, as mentioned, a bit of an inform side at the moment. They had a couple of defeats, but there's been a lot of wins, and it's been a stark sort of contrast to the beginning of the season for Ross. And just a couple of changes here, personnel wise. Boyer comes back in on the right hand side, and Brouwer starts up front for Sancte. So interesting decisions by the manager there to see Mark Brouwers, who it's not been great, but he has scored a goal, so I guess it's worth a punt when neither Saha or Santa Cruz has been prolific either. So that'll be the first game of the evening. Good luck to both managers. I hope you enjoy this one as Northern Burn takes on Club Sanctis Salutis to give them their full and correct name. Um, let's fix the speed. Well, was actually looking dangerous early on. Van Nistelrooy with a big chance for them. Northern Burn had a chance of their own, and Pence has kind of slowed down his scoring a little bit. But I think still sitting top of the goal scoring chart. 20 minutes played now, and it's sort of. Ah, there's Montero picking up a yellow. That'll be another suspension for him then. Um, great that when you're like 15 games in, then he only plays every other game. I guess you just have to get used to it. Um, Very tough midfield battle. Both teams doing their best to try and gain the upper hand in this one. It has been fairly even. 4 shots on target for Sancte, 3 for the home side. In terms of action zones, this is always fairly even. Not sure why I clicked on it. Either way, Oliver Kahn is currently sitting on an 8. Some decent enough performances here by the defenders in general. Brouwers is on a 6. Van der Vaarten a 6. Sendens on a 6. Tikhonov, Ortega, and Juliano on the bench in terms of the substitutions for Ross this evening. So he does have options going forward with Ortega for definite, one of them. Um, Meanwhile, Ian has already confirmed Northern Burn. Ian has already confirmed as you'd expect from Northern Burn. Buffon's on a 9 in goal. That's good. He doesn't want to see him having a mare. Both central defenders already on a yellow though. Could be a bit of an ominous sign for what might be to come in the second half. Impensa and Rui Costa on 6s, but everyone else doing relatively well. Wait and see if Ross wants to do something here. At the interval, Tikhonov for Sendon, and that's done until 60. Thanks very much for the quick confirmation. There comes Tikhonov. He did actually play pretty well, I think, Tikhonov when he was selected earlier, wasn't he? Yeah, 750 average, not bad. 2 games, but still. We roll until 60. See if someone can take the upper hand here early in the second half. Candela comes forward. Candle's had a good season as well. Poor against East Coast, but in general, as I recall, but in general he's had a good season. Rui Costa coming forward. Couple of important goals in the past, Rui Costa. I've not seen that much of him this evening so far, though. Oliver Kahn doing an excellent job in the Sancte goal. And Northern Burn still prodding and probing. They've been probably the slightly better side here in the second half. And Penza moved too soon. That was an offside. I was thinking that was going to be a big chance for them, but just ruled out there for offside. Not even ruled out. It wasn't in the back of the net, but there we go. And that is the 60-minute mark. Northern Burn slightly better in the second half than Sancte in the first 15 anyway. Feels as if they, if not have it under control, then at least have a little bit of the upper hand, especially when you look at the ratings for Sancte. There's Campiaso on a 6, Van der Vaart, Ortega's coming on for Brouwers. That decision was clearly made in advance by the manager. We will do that. Thanks very much, Ross. And Ian goes as is for the home side. So that's probably got what we're going to stick with. Um, yeah, they're looking solid. Candle's on a 9, Buffon's on an 8, plenty of 7s. Justin Pence is on the 6, but he is, of course, his most dangerous striking option. We run until full time and see if Northern Burn can find a winner or if Sancte can get something here at the furnace. Poof! Time went so quick there in the second half. Not a lot happened. Both sides equaling each other out. Sancte had a shot that was on target. Northern Burn had 2 that wasn't. Sancte, I guess they'll take the point. It's a little bit not really enough. Van Nistelrooy got the chances though. You can't really fault who had them. But yeah, it's a difficult place to come, the furnace, and I think Ross won't be too disappointed with the point, given how even the match was there. Um, Candela man of the match. Probably a little bit disappointing for the manager that they didn't manage to find the back of the net with one of the chances. Aima had a couple of shots, so did Impensa. But yeah, I guess Ian says deserved point for the away manager there. Well, we don't have to argue about that. I think that's reasonable to say that both sides definitely deserve the point. Just no one clinical enough to actually secure all three. But anyway, first game of the evening out of the way. Exiles against Foss Road. Not just it's Assman for the Unicorns tonight. Well, why not? Why don't we just dive straight into it then? I'm not sure Neil will be about, but we'll do Exiles against Foss Road. A couple of changes for Exiles. I think it's Solis coming on for Raul and Vincente stays at left wing back. Duggan, definitely one of the managers quite keen on getting this out of the way before the Eurovision. I think people from from the UK are generally quite keen, but I believe that Duggan is a big fan of the show. No doubt he'll be enjoying Finland's performance later on. Anyway, um, that's how Exiles are lining up. We can remind ourselves that it's been patchy form, a couple of wins. Well, it's three on the page now for them here. After that win against Fulchester, before that they'd had a bit of a poor run of form. They're still missing a couple of players. Nesta was injured, came back, now he's injured again. So Roberto is of course still out. Valtolina still out. So they're kind of struggling down the left hand side. But Vincente will cover that one, and as mentioned, Solis is in for Raul. It's a fairly simple for Fossil Unicorns. There is one change. Celis is suspended. The ever-changing DMC lineup for Fossil Unicorns. Celis is suspended. Keen comes back in. He takes captain's armband back. That is the only chance for Foss Road. And Todd is still on the bench. Foss Road in their lovely green away colours. We kick this one off as they are away to Exiles. Looking to continue the excellent run of form. Only the only side, okay, as Vieri opening the scoring. Oh, but it's a quick equaliser for Joe Cole. I'll keep my speculation about the league positions to myself then, as Smoots makes it 2-1 for the Exiles. They've refound some form recently, absolutely. Foss Road on surprisingly poor in terms of the defensive display. They've been so solid at the back so far this season and actually putting pressure on the team, really putting pressure on East Coast now, closing the gap so effectively. But it looks as if they're struggling here as Exiles are refinding their early season form. Evening, Paul. Good to see you. Exiles 3 shots, 3 on target. Foss Road 3 and 2. A little bit more clinical finishing from the Exiles boys. Nick Matulin's on a 6. He has been extremely solid. Only conceded 4 goals all season for Foss Road. He's conceded 2 already tonight. That is quite poor from him. Um, and then there's Hoffland with an 8. Everyone doing okay. Trezeguet's on a 6. There's Totti, there's Saviola, and there's Peruzzi. There's Argil on the bench. Duggan says, as is for now. We will just quickly show the stats for Exiles, of course, in case Neil is watching this back later this evening. Christian Vieri is there on an 8. It was Vicente on that left side with the assist. We slow the commentary speed down for fast just until we get to 60 minutes and see if someone takes an early control here of the second half. It looks as if it's Exiles again. Solis was offside there though. Looked as if someone was in with a decent chance, but wasn't to be. Not seeing that much of Foss Road, but here they are coming forward. Tomasi intercepts it though, forced it off, and there comes Casano going past Laos and fierce shot. Nick Matulin back to his best, holding on to that save. But Vieri, oh, so close there again. But Nick Matulin does his job in the goal, and instead Foss Road comes forward. Here's Cole looking for Crespo. Crespo with the volley, couldn't keep his shot down. Unfortunate for Foss Road there. Didn't even register as a shot on target. There you go. Um, or off target rather. Exiles slightly the better side still, also here in the beginning of the second half. Um, Ratings fairly similar for Foss Road. Trezeguet still sitting on a 6 though. Saviola the obvious change there, unless you want to throw Totti in up top. Could also be an option. Some Brothercule, everyone pretty much in trust the process mode. Just a question of whether Duggan wants to change it up at the front there. Kuhl for Totti, switch Cole and Totti, put 2 DMCFs into MC, and leave one single central DMC. I'm guessing this is what we are going with. Um, Excellent. Exiles, meanwhile, 7s and 8s, not a lot has changed. and there are no major fitness concern. Cassano's down on 80, but not enough to justify a substitution at this point. We do have 27 minutes left to play. Hopefully, he will be able to survive. Let's see if those changes for Foss Road will bring about a goal for the away side, or if Exiles are going to hold on. It looks as if Foss Road have definitely picked up the pace a little bit. One or two good chances created there. There's another one. Here comes Gerard. Here comes Crespo. Now is the Exiles keeper making all the saves. Just 10 minutes left to play now. 12 minutes left to play, rather. And we'll slow this down a little bit. And there comes the equaliser. It's Francesco Totti. Oh, no, it isn't an equaliser. Oh, Joe called it straight into an offside position out on the wing, opening the scoring call. And now he's the cause of a disallowed goal. Unlucky, unlucky. Totti thought that he had the equaliser there, and instead is Nick Matulin, who's getting busy again. Solis had an attempt for Exiles there. Coming up to the added time now, it's still Solis, it's still Exiles. Looks unlikely that Foster's going to find a way back into this one, but could it be? Oh, Tomasi there with a dangerous two-footed challenge will move smooth centrally. And of course, Foster Road now, Duncan, you are allowed to make a you are allowed to do something. Put the goalkeeper up front or whatever for the last action of the game if you want to do something here. Joe Cole currently sitting on an iron, throw Saviolo on, whatever it is. If there's anything you fancy doing right here to death, then obviously you're in a position to do so. Totti up top and wingers on the arrows. Excellent. Let's see if that has anything to say. Nope, unlucky. Unfortunate, nothing came of it. Tomasi with a very clinical foul there to prevent the away side from having another opportunity, and it finishes 2-1. Foss Road did well, but just didn't really do enough. Many offsides as well. Let's have a look. Solid enough performance for everyone. Unlucky to have the goal ruled out for offside. David Trezeguet maybe left on a little bit too long, but he had a 10 last time out. It's kind of hard to to exclude him. Roy Keane back in business. No one picked up a yellow. Manager will have a full squad at his disposal for the next one, which will please him, no doubt. Meanwhile, Exiles, they'll have to find a replacement for Damiano Tomasi, which is a big problem because he is the highest averaging player in the league at the moment. So that's going to be tricky for them, but I'm sure that Neil will manage to sort something out for them. So, well played to both managers. Congratulations to Exiles picking up that win, and at least keeping their spot in the top at the moment. I believe the other two managers that we have around at the moment are Mr. Campbell, who was definitely here earlier, and we have the Vikings managerial setup as well. Tato might join earlier. I'm not sure about Savage. Does anyone have any preference, Campbell or Steve Bonsa? Any of you wanting to go first, or we go back to the fixtures and see what else we can pick out here? Um, We have full test against Sloss, which might be a managerless affair, so could pick up that one first. That might be an option. You're ready. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll do Fulchester slots and then we'll do Haggis against Badgers. Tato turned up just a couple of minutes too late last time out, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Savage was here earlier last week, so I appreciate the early start. It's not great for everyone. And Steve's happy enough to go whenever. So, okay, so let's go Fulchester slots, then we'll go Badgers Haggis, and then we will go Vikings against Stanley, and then we'll see if Steve and Dimble turn up for the last one. Scott and Alex as well, of course. Um, might be around a little bit earlier, Alex, with the kids and whatever. So let's do this one. Full test against Sloss. Let's have a look at that first. Alva changed his tactic a little bit. Um, Valgarin is back. West is there. Toneto and Paolo, he's persisting with the wingbacks. Fiore is there. Donny's there. Biscan is at DMC. Smith up top, Brooking just behind them. And Elba's on the bench. Holland license. Decent enough lineup with Davidson there in the centre. It's looking solid. Fulchester has not been brilliant. There could be something in this one for Sloths this evening. Just a couple of changes for Fulchester. I believe it is D'Alessandro who comes in on the left-hand side, and I believe Pizarro is the starting preferred striker in this one. So let's kick off Fulchester against Sloths and see who runs out the winner in this one. Two sides who have struggled to score, who've struggled to control games. But there is David Beckham opening the scoring for Fulchester, and Alan Smith now equalising. Busy first 15 minutes in this one, and then we jump to 40 minutes with nothing else happening. Sloths look as if they are taking a bit of control here towards the second half, but that went straight into half time. This one will be over in a flash. Two shots on target, and both of them went in. So yeah, teams that normally take an absolute hatful of chances to score goals. Have only needed one really this evening. David Beckham has mentioned opening the scoring for Fulchester, and Alan Smith with a quick response for Sloths. No conditions met for substitutions for either manager, so we will just fire back into this one up until 60 and see if anything changes in terms of fitness or rating wise for the Sloths. David Oxton shown a yellow card to Lucio. Highlight so far of the second half. Good save by Frey there. Sloth's second shot didn't seem to go in, so at least there is some hope for the goalkeepers in this one. Biskens is the one committing a foul there, picking up a yellow card. Here goes Manuel. Pablo tries to find Brooking. Brooking, we haven't seen much of him this season. Has been much more effective in the past for Sloths. But that could be said for a number of Sloth players, unfortunately for the manager. Let's have a look. It's still 2-1, not not a classic in terms of in terms of chances. This one, still no one meeting the substitution conditions, so they will stay on for Sloths, and for Fulchester there are no fitness concerns either. So we will run this one till the end. See if anyone can put a bit of fire in this one for the last 20 minutes. Um, Fiore comes forward. There's Donny. Had a chance there. Now it's Fulchester's turn. D'Alessandro coming forward. Pizarro is there. This seen D'Alessandro's name a couple of times. But it finishes 1-1. Sorry, the game. I missed the fact that the game had finished. Fulchester 4 shots, 3 on target. Slosser 3-1. Neither manager will be particularly happy with the point, I guess. Um, Fulchester again the better side without winning. That's probably true for vast majority of the games this season, or at least the majority, if not the vast one. Solid performances from everyone, 7, 8, even a 9 in there. Mark Vivian Foe, man of the match. Good performance from them. They just don't win. Sloth Fiore finishes on a 5. Everyone else doing kind of okay. Brooking got a 6. Um, Two teams who have their own individual struggles. Sloths, there's always something that goes really well and other things that really don't. And for Fulchester, it just seems that they can't get a result out of their solid performances. Hey Scott, may or may not be from a game you're in and out. That's fair enough. As mentioned, we'll probably go with Haggis next. I'll try and get you on at some point. I won't hang about if you're not replying, but I'll give you a fair chance, of course. Fulchester's lost 1-1. That's the end of that one. We'll wait a little bit with Dudley in case D or Dimble is here earlier. And as mentioned, we'll jump to Badgers now, and then we'll do Vikings, and then Stackington, Los Santos. We'll hold off for this one. Badgers against Haggis coming up next. One or two changes for Badgers, as I recall. Scally comes in. I think something else happened. It was Mandaviki on the bench. It was not something interesting. I think the only lineup change here is Biagio coming off and Scally coming in, and Mandaviki losing his place on the bench to Biagio potentially. Um, it's been good for Badgers. It's been kind of inconsistent at times, but the last whatever 5 games, I mean, they've won. They've maybe not outplayed anyone. They've maybe not dominated, but they've picked up a bunch of points. I mean, they've only dropped what 4 in the last 5 games. You can't really complain about that. That's playoff form, and they're in fourth place. So decent enough. We'll see what the manager makes of this. If he manages to join in time, or if he'll have to celebrate the win sort of a post event, as was the case last time. For Haggis, I forget what the change is. Saeed moving back into central defense, actually. Petko Vieremis into Chatse coming in there, and this is due to the injury for Cannavaro. Montella 7 and 18, not too bad. 6 and 15 for Anelka, decent enough striking partnership. Figo's come in and done not too bad. So yeah, it's looking okay for Haggis as well, up in third. As mentioned, this is fourth versus third. It's kind of a big one in terms of like deciding the places up here. And as mentioned, the teams below, such as Exiles, even Dudley a bit below the line, they will be looking at this and thinking if is a gap to be closed now that they've already had the opportunity to gain ground on Foss Road. Let's see. Just hosting Haggis, how this one pans out. It's decent enough start for Badgers. They haven't found the back of the net, but I believe they've had the majority of the chances. A good save by the Haggis keeper. A little bit of an, I won't say unsung hero because he is mentioned from time to time, but I think he's played a solid part. Oof, excellent timing. Excellent timing. You're just in time for your halftime instructions. Uh, you've you've dominated the first half, to be honest, if you can call it that, in the way that you've made sure that Haggis not had a single shot. Glad to see you still mediocre. Well, mediocre is maybe a strong word. Sevens and eights. I mean, that's pretty good. Sevens and an eight. Let's be honest. Parade is getting the eight there. Robbie Keane and Sosa, the two sort of obvious attacking options in the bench, goes as is for now. Meanwhile, Haggis, it's been poor. It's been a poor first half for the away side in this one. Omar Tlatse, the the early, was he not the one who scored goal and got assists or something in the beginning? I forget. Um, but yeah, he's been decent. Everyone has been kind of mid, to be completely honest. Proton, Bauma, Samuel, Petkov, Jeremy Sanelka, and Figo have all struggled to make an impact there. Especially Bauma, very disappointing. 8 passes, only three of them completed. Campbell goes okay till 60 as well. Let's see, let's see. It could be all be about to change here in the second half. Dead as a dodo until 59 minutes. Giggs unmarked. Great save by the keeper. Said clears it. Here comes Scally. Giggs involved again. DMC line for Haggis cleans up this time. There's Samuel. It's Wayne Oldham with a whistle. Surprised we haven't seen more cards. Oh, there's one for Samuel. Just on cue. Excellent. Yeah, Haggis still without a single shot. Badgers have done a little bit better. Maybe still in the mediocre category. Everyone apart from Parade is on a 7. Manager can't be too disappointed with that. They are playing third place Haggis. It's not the easiest of games, but we'll see if Tato wants to change anything up here. Fitness wise, you're looking good. Meanwhile, we have a look at Haggis. Baumer's just getting worse. He's on a 5 now, up against Mendieta on that side, I think. Obviously, the better of the from a defensive perspective, the better of Badgers wingers. Anelka's on a 6, Figo's on a 6. I mean, you'd have to throw on both Cruz and Tomadera in the hope of changing something here, I would say, for the Badgers. But we'll wait and see. Megaho's looking after LSK. Good. How good of him to do that. Um, we'll see if Ian wants to do anything. In the meantime, I will go over and do Robert Sosa for CC Roberts. And that's it. And Cruz for Bauma, swap with Vigo, and swap the strikers. All done. Last 30 minutes coming up. Just hosting Haggis. Not for all the marbles, but in front of 80,000. Um, for the potential of overtaking Haggis, this is what's on the cards for Badgers. Moving up to third if they win this one. Um, but they have to win, of course. And it's looking as if both sides are still struggling to make sort of a kind of meaningful type of inroads towards scoring a goal. Haggis looks as if they've had a chance or two here in the second half. Could that be about to be the winner if anyone can find the back of the net at this late stage? They couldn't. Terrible. 4 shots, 2 on target for Badgers, 3 and 1 for Haggis. Um, an enormous amount of offsides, which is always fun. Uh, fairly agricultural, indeed. Klumpe, man of the match on an 8. Lots of tackles though. Very competitive. Pish Yeah, neither manager too happy with this one, but you're probably still going to be in third and fourth after this one, so it's not all bad and a clean sheet. Every little every little helps towards the ultimate objective. So that's where we are with that. Moving swiftly on, as promised, we will do Vikings against there's Steve. We will do Vikings against Stanley. I've not seen Mike about, but I've also not seen Alex about. So it's one or the other. Steve and Dimble might be here later. If not, then it'll be an interesting one to save until the end anyway. So with Vikings, there's a new tactic. I believe this is the right lineup. I'm often bad with this, so do bear with me while I double check this because most reliable. I don't remember seeing. Yeah, must be right. Shevchenko, Kluivert, Kakafat, Bommel, Arca, Simeone, Olodenko. Yeah, I was surprised Simeone to see him back in action again, but it looks this one pretty much, if not spot on, then at least relatively accurate. Anchor formation. Uh, Not sure if I remember a flat three at the back doing particularly well in the Super League, but that could, of course, be about to change. We'll see. Get the special brew out. I'm not sure if Ian's a special brew kind of guy, but we'll see. We'll see if he's able to confirm or deny. So that's the Vikings for this evening. They're up against Stanley, who have made a couple of changes as well. Rossini comes in for Ronaldo. I believe it's Ehiok in for Okoronkwo and Sand for Janicetta. So that's the Red Rose changes. They're obviously disappointed with that game last time out. When you're on a roll and you're thinking, heck, is it not impossible? And then you unfortunately end up losing. It's kind of sad news. Special brewer. I never met that many Scot. I mean, I was there for 20 years. I never met that many Scottish people that drank special brew. I don't know. I don't know. Mhm. Never mind. Nicky Butt is the captain for Stanley this evening. Stephen Paul, obviously, both in attendance, both managers for the Vikings. We'll see if they are rewarded with a win, or if the ever dangerous Georgic will be able to do it for Stanley. Did he have a goal ruled out for offside last time out? I kind of feel like he did. I can't fully remember, to be completely honest. I've not focused that much on the game so far because I'm not sure if a giant amount of it has been happening. There's John Terry picking up an injury. I don't think they have much of an option other than just throwing Brett Emerton in as a straight swap. I think he's a DC as well. Yeah, we're waiting for the manager to confirm, but I think that's gonna be it. I must hanging out on the park benches like Ian does. I'll tell you a funny story while we wait. For anyone for anyone listening. Oh, here's Emerson. I'll tell it at halftime. I'll click for halftime and then I'll tell it at halftime because that's just around the corner. There we go. Three shots not on target for Vikings, 2-1 for Stanley. We'll have a quick look at so Gary Neville's on a 5. He's bound to improve in the second half. Georgic, no fitness concerns. Savage, if you're here, obviously give us a shout. If not, then it looks as if your boys are okay anyway. We'll leave it for the Vikings here. John Terry's down on 27. We'll see if Steve or Paul wants to do anything at this point. If not, I'll just very quickly tell the story. I've not been in Glasgow long. I was walking through Glasgow Green, which is kind of like a normal park, not like full of like junkies or anything like that. And a guy comes up to me, opens his palm where there's some coins, counts them out, and asks me, "Can you spare?" And then whatever, 31 pence or whatever for a bottle of White Lightning. And I only had like a pound or something, so 50 pence, so I gave him that. Swap the strikers, please. We'll do that. But I thought that was fair, that he asked for the exact amount of pence that he needed to get a bottle of White Lightning. I can respect that. Swapping the strikers and roll until 60, I guess. Should have waited for this. To be fair, I should have. He would have probably given it me, but I said no, it's okay, just keep it, mate. Just I already got 50p and I handed that over. So, and then I went to the market and bought a stolen monitor. So, all's good. All's good in Glasgow. Steve says roll till 60. We shall do that. Um, Let's see if anyone can find a goal here early on in the second half. Interesting to see if Kaka can do something. He does have the attributes. We've just rarely seen him do anything in the Super League, to be honest. Um, can trick people, obviously. You look at folk and you're thinking, surely they got to do something. You look at their attributes, but there's such a competitive league, especially in terms of the players that are playing here, that it needs to be something really exceptional to kind of stand out. Here, Stanley with a good chance, maybe. I think it'll be a corner for them. Three shots, zero, two and one. Again, following a line of the previous game, really. Gotta have faith in Gary Neville having you to stay on. I knew he threw Robbie Savage onto as a striker before, but I don't think we'll go that far this evening. Vikings, meanwhile, a couple of yellow cards. Yepes, Van Bommel on yellow, everyone on full fitness. Claudio Lopez, sort of an obvious choice from the bench. Dalmat could come on as well, of course, in place of Van Bommel. Someone with a little bit more attacking prowess, maybe. Van Bommel on the six, but he is the captain. So I'm not sure if what the manager duo wants to do, or the manager wants to do here in this particular case. Kaka with the arrow, maybe he would be better without it. Who knows? Who knows? It's all guesswork at this point from my end anyway. But I'm sure Steve will have some suggestions as Vikings go hunting for a win, and Stanley look to hang on. Um, Hamilton to DMR. Well, they go to right wing like this. This looks wild, but I'm 100% down. Ah, back one. Shame. I'm still down. It's still great. Good to see some different stuff going on here. I wonder if we'll see Claudio Lopez in action as well. Simeone off for Dalmat and swap Dalmat and Van Bommel. Excellent. We're good to go? Or you want to see Lopez on as well? I'm not like forcing you or anything. I'm happy with this. Good to go. Excellent. I want to see that work, that down the right hand side. Who are you trying to who are you trying to overload on the right hand side? Phil Neville and Gary. Aha, I see. Oh, that's smart. Oh, that's like thinking. That's like a thinking manager move. We don't see that a lot. No offense. Oh, but that's thing. I like that. I like that. Let's see. Let's see if piling the pressure on to Gary Neville is gonna pay off. Uh, he deserves it, of course. And there is Kaka. It doesn't pay off down the wing, but it pays off down the middle. Excellent for Vikings here. And there's Volodyankov. It does pay off. Would you believe it? Targeting the weak point in the Stanley defense has surely won it for the Vikings. An absolute stroke of genius by the manager there. What a turnaround. Volodyankov, man of the match with an assist and a goal. My goodness, Kaka as well. I was speaking about him before he scored, saying that he doesn't actually often turn up. Oh, I was going to say that's not Kaka. Looking decent, no 20s, but plenty of like 18s, 19s in there. Yeah, I mean, oof, that's a smart move. Gary Neville's still on a five. Poor Gary Neville and Georgics as well. I like that. I like that. Um, Shame for Stanley. They'll have home games coming up now. Hopefully for them, they'll find some form again. But congratulations to Vikings. That was well earned, that win. Excellent performance by the home side there. Good. What do we have left this evening? Off the bottom, yes, indeed, you probably are. I think Megahorse was here for LSK. Alex is not here, so we are gonna have to just like dive straight into it. Alex had made a couple of changes, both in terms of tactics and personnel. Rivaldo's moving up, Finland's coming in, Binotto is in there from the reserves. Etu is playing as well, Saki, and LSK temporary manager Chap Megahorse is here. So let's fire straight into this one. Stackington at home to Los Santos. Los Santos Kings, who of course had that 3-1 win against Dudley, 2-2 draw with Haggis. It's been good. No idea who I have, so this will be fun. Um, oh, but you have great players. a great squad, very, very talented people. The Solar Regen is on the bench because he wasn't doing particularly well. But yeah, you've got plenty of talent at your disposal. You're not allowed to sub color shacks. I'm just saying, not if you want Scott to ever speak to you again, then please don't touch him. But everyone else, I think, is fair game. Um, I'm not sure. Uh, oh, even Steve, I waited. I knew you were going to turn up. So I've waited for you. You are still to play. You'll be the last game of the evening, I guess, against Dimble. So you'll be here for the excitement. Anyway, stacking against Los Santos. I think it was just the one change with data coming in for less easy. Pirlo, as I said, peace taker, but he ain't here. So never mind. Free reign. Oh, well, phew, we'll see about that. Well, good luck. You have your work cut out, apparently. Eto with the opener for Stackington. I did not see that coming. Oh, and there is Kalashax. That is the reason why you're not allowed to touch him. 13 goal now, approaching the top scorers charts. The top of the top scorer chart is what I was trying to say there. Kalashax now on 13 for the season. If he continues this form, he will no doubt get there in the end. Um, Yeah, it's been backwards and forwards. Good chances for both sides. There comes Rosicky, who I think had a decent enough game last time out. 2-2 stacking turn Los Santos. Even Stevens, in terms of everything apart from headers one, obviously. That's not been great. Andre on a seven, Dyer eight, Lizosu eight, Hencho is on a six. Midfielder is not really doing super well in general. Carlos Jackson on a seven with a goal, though. It was Kieran Dyer who got the assist, Brosix on a seven, and Emmanuel Petit, who's had a decent season, 750 average, is on a six. A little bit disappointing, but no fitness concerns, so I presume an assist from Mega Horse to 60, thanks, indeed. Meanwhile, over at Stackington is Konstantin Galka, who had those assists, so he's a corner taker apparently with technique and set pieces all maxed out. Not a lot else happening. Inzaghi got the assist. He would have, of course, as we've mentioned, hoped for a lot more out of Inzaghi rather than the seven contributions in 15. But it's not bad, but he needs to get more goals, really. We will roll till 60 for stacking turn and see if they can hold on. Oh, that's going to be red, isn't it? Yeah. um, it's got to go one at the back, hasn't he? I mean, surely. Don't think anyone could disagree with that. Why would you? I mean, what are you gonna do? What have you got in the bets? Costa? I guess you could go one AMC, but I don't feel like that's Alex. Given how he went all in that Foster Road game last time out, I don't believe there's any reason to do anything else here. Mega Horse, you want to do anything now, or you want to wait until 60? You can make a tactical change already, considering that Alex has gone one at the back. Or if you feel like you don't want to exploit it at this point in time, we can roll till 60. Play on things, no worries. 60 minutes just around the corner. In just about 12, 13 minutes time, Rosicky was offside there. Rivaldo coming forward, trying to create something. There's Binotto as well. Rivaldo's been pretty decent on that left-hand side for Staggington. Kind of surprised to see him swap that around and bringing Binotto in. I'm not sure where that comes from, but we'll see if Binotto can do something. I'm not expecting miracles from him. Neither does the manager probably, but still, Shea Given with a good performance. He kind of owes that after that five last time out. It's 3-2. Stackington had the one shot. Los Santos not really created anything yet. There's a bunch of sixes in here. Maybe worth thinking about Kessman or even Pirlo, even Lee Young Pyo. All three could obviously come in. Fitness wise, you have no concerns. So the floor is yours. Lee Young Pyo for Senoni. Give him a forward arrow if it's allowed, please. Yes, absolutely. Anything else? Are you good with this? I take that as a good with this. Stackington. No one's on a five. No one's in tragical condition. They've not been outplayed. I think we're probably just going to roll with this one until the end. So that's where we're going. Let's see if anyone can find a winner in this one. It looks as if Los Santos met business there going into the second half. They are a man up. Will that advantage count? Or will Big Marvin at the back be able to hold on until the end? 20 minutes to go now. It's definitely Los Santos with the majority of the chances. 8 minutes to play now. We'll slow this down just a little bit, see if someone can find a winner here. 4 minutes added on means that we've still got a couple to play after this chance. Lee Young Pyo comes forward. He is the guy who was subbed on. Marvin Andrews picks up a yellow there. Lucky he wasn't on one already. That would have been him off, and problems for Stackington, obviously going into the added time now, and it looks as if it's going to finish. Although, ooh, excellent tackle. Milevski goes down. He was shot by Rivaldo. Surely this has got to be the last action. Rosigic's in the corner. Galca tackle 10 shows it. Finishes 1-1. Los Santos absolutely dominant in that second half. Just couldn't find the back of the net. Let's see if Shea Given gets it. He doesn't. Galca gets man of the match with 18 tackles, 9 of them won. That's also a huge amount. Excellent performance from Stackington there. Just unlucky that they couldn't close it out. I mean, what could have been if they played like this with a full set of players? I mean, solid, solid. Well played, whoever's mutilated my Stackington. What do you mean mutilated? You have Marvin Andrews that has a solid soul DC. Can't complain about that. Meanwhile, Kieran Dyer got a 9 with the assist there. Manuel Petit, surprisingly, only a 5 for Los Santos, but solid enough performance from them. Picking up a point away from home. It's not the best, it's not the worst. Scott will be back in action probably next week, and he'll be able to put his own stamp on things. Um, those are the fixtures for tonight. Why are we looking at them? Anyway, Dudley Hill against East Coast is the last game of the evening. Steve has a brand new tactic and some new personnel. Miroslav Romashenko comes in. Looking forward to seeing him in action. He's done okay down in the reserves. There's Kafu Kal. The rest are familiar faces, of course. Nedved, Nikiforenko, Zigalko. Maldini Simic comes in, though. It's not played that much, but he comes in at the back. So that's the new formation with the players from Stee here. Lovely to see Romashenko getting some action indeed. Always nice to see fresh faces in the Super League. So that's what they're doing this evening. They're up against East Coast, who just have one change. It's Baldini out, Rustico in. At the back, the rest is as is after that impressive display against Northern Burn last time out. East Coast looking to extend their gap now with Foss Road losing. Dudley looking to get back into the playoffs, basically. We will see how it goes with the final game of the evening. Dudley Hill at home to East Coast. There is Matt Larson to the reserves too. Oh, apologies for that, mate. Um, if I missed that, then I'm sorry about that. Um, Constantino opens the scoring. Um, Cafu with the drive. It's been a solid. Sorry, I was reading the chat rather than actually looking at the game. Solid enough from Dudley Hill right up until that point when Constantino scored. Two shots, none on target, unfortunately for them. East Coast with 4 and 3. Hey Dimble. Um, and here we are at halftime. Rustico's on a 6, Emerson on a 6, and Paul Scholl is on a 6. But Dimble says as is. Meanwhile, Dudley Hill are looking like this. Sauri Desai on the bench. Franca is on the bench though. And let's see. Yeah. Uh, Apologies for. I don't know if I missed that, but it did say that the bench was like this. So uh, didn't seem that way. No, it seems. I thought you were more in it, but there we go. Roll until 60. Um, and we will see. Nedved to Romashenko to Ferguson, to Galco, Roberto Carlos, all the big names are involved, but unfortunately not able to find the back of the net. 55 played now, and it's Shimkovia coming forward for East Coast to the byline, floated in. There's Ambrosini and Ronaldinho, who found some form last time out against Dudley, against Northern Burn. If he starts to get firing, then East Coast are going to be probably starting to pick up their pace again as they had earlier this season when they went with whatever 12 wins from 11 or whatever it was before they kind of slowed down a little bit. We get up to the hour mark and it looks as if Dudley Hill are in trouble here unless they can find something right on the 60-minute mark to kind of motivate them for the last 30 minutes. There's Ferguson. There's Tigalco, fantastic save by Bartes, who had a couple of poor-ish games recently. He's back in top form apparently. Yeah, fairly even in terms of shots. Only difference is that East Coast have been on target and went in. Dudley just the one. Stat for East Coast. Both goals struggling a little bit. He's on a six. Everyone's doing okay. Ambrosini and Robin with the assists there. Three yellow cards as well. Robin, Ronaldinho, and Ambrosini. The main men again, both in terms of good and bad. So that's where we are with East Coast. If we look at Dudley Hill, the stats, a couple of yellows there. Tigalco's on a yellow, so is Simic. Um, in terms of fitness, Roberto Carlos is down on 80. He'll probably live. Dimple says as is. Sowery, of course, is an attacking-ish option on the wing. There's also Franca to potentially come on for Dudley Hill, but it's maybe, I mean, Tigalco. I mean, you gotta feel kind of sorry for him. He had that decentish run with Stanley and decentish run with Badgers, but like a couple of honking sort of efforts from him as well. You just expect more. I guess it comes with a name. It's like when you see Inzaghi only scoring like three and assisting four in like 18 games or whatever it is. I mean, then you're kind of disappointed, even though it's not the worst. Nedved to left, Shakespeare to right AMC arrows on them off Nikki, centralized Barry and longer arrows on the wing backs. There we go. Dudley Hill going for it here. They're going to need an early goal when we restart this if they're going to find a way back into this one. Let's see. Counter speed is on very fast. It's Robin and Rolandinho and Simkoviak and Paul Scholes combining. Not what Dudley Hill wanted to see. They wanted to have an early goal, 22 minutes, and it's Constantino with a second. That's 3-0 for East Coast. That has to be this one in the bag. The reigning champions really refining their form and their goal scoring prowess here as well. We are poop. That's maybe a bit harsh, but but East Coast, when East Coast are good, then it's easy to look poop against them. Obviously, when they're in this kind of form, Constantino, Ronaldinho, and I think Robin had the assist as well. So yeah, solid second half performance for East Coast. Dudley Hill unable to find the target, never mind the back of the net. Yeah, and indeed, Paul Scholes played up from a six up until a seven, got the assist as well. Well done, East Coast, extending the gap at the top of the table. Dudley Hill, not a terrible performance. Maldini captain on an eight at the tender age of 30 and a million. Uphill battle, 7 games. Think you're out of it? Ah, well, I doubt it. I doubt you're out of it. There's plenty of points still to play for. 21 points still up for grabs, and the gap's not going to be more than 4 or 5. So I don't think that's going to be a giant issue, but not easy. Not easy, obviously. We'll have a look at the classified results. Badgers 0-0 against the Haggis. Dudley Hill losing 3-0 to East Coast, as we just saw. Exiles 2-1 winners against Foss Road. Fulchester and Slots 1-1. Northern Burn Sanctity a 0-0 draw. Staggington Los Santos 1-1 draw. And Vikings beating Stanley, getting off the foot of the table. Slots are down there now. Need 15 of them for 40. Indeed, you do. Indeed, you do. So best get cracking. Northern Burn down there as well. But you are, as mentioned, just 2 and 5 points behind Los Santos, respectively. Badgers on 31. You're not far behind them either. Not far behind Exiles, Haggis. Still sort of within reach. Foss Road are probably up there now with a 7 point gap, and 14 points, I think, for East Coast is definitely enough. That's where we are at the table. Down at the bottom, Vikings are off the bottom. Sloth and Stanley are down there now. Sanctay in ninth with that draw, just 2 points behind Dudley Hill. 7 points after Los Santos. Not impossible, but with 24 left, 21 left to play for, it's got to be kind of tricky. Um, We'll have a look at the fixtures. It's a difficult one for Fulchester. They travel to East Coast. Foss Road host Northern Burn. Not getting any easier for Northern Burn either. And Haggis host Stackington. Sixth place Los Santos host the Vikings. Manager better turn up, or Steve will take advantage of his weaknesses. Sanctay hosting Badgers. Big game for Sanctay there. A win there, and that's a gap closer if Los Santos fail to get points as well. Slots are hosting Exiles, and finally it's Stanley against Dudley Hill. I'm making out the first. Good question, actually. You must have about 40. Well, you've got what, 3 and 4? You must have played a ton of home games then in the beginning. Don't know, mate. Apologies. You've got three away games left and four home games. You do have three at home in the last four, so that's probably where you're gonna start seeing the benefits as you host Fossroad and Badgers, who you will no doubt be chasing. So yeah, and you play against the bottom half of the table, so there's definitely Stanley, Fulchester, Vikings, Sloths, Staggington, all below the table in the next five, and then you've got Fossroad and Badgers at home. It's all in your own hands, mate. It is all in your own hands. Anyway, packs will be out tomorrow morning. That concludes this evening action. Next week, not sure, traveling. So I'll let you know as soon as I know when I'll be able to squeeze in a show. That's it for this evening. Take care, everyone. Thank you very much for joining on this slightly earlier show. And yeah, speak to you all again soon. Good night.